In today's world, we only watch the endings, a flashy success story or the brutal collapse. But we don't hear about the full journey that it took to get there. The late nights, tough calls, moments of doubt. On In Between Sips, we dive deep into the raw, unfiltered stories of what these business owners and leaders have been through and who they became along the way. So pull up a chair, pour a cup, and join us. We're just getting started. Because we all know the best conversations happen in between sips. All right, Brandon, thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've had a little dad's old-fashioned root beer.
It doesn't get old, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
There's just so much nostalgia with it, and I don't even know why. Even know why. Well, here's to you. Here's to Nash Powersports and everything you guys are doing over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, tell me a little bit about yourself. You know, born and raised here? No, yes. Transplant?
A little bit of a transplant. I don't know too much about where I was. I say that because I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. Moved away there when I was 6 weeks old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why I say I don't really remember much.
I was getting ready for some Arkansas stories.
No,
I
no,
guess not.
I only have those as far as when I go on vacation to visit family, but there's not very many of those. But no, I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. Moved to Phoenix, Arizona with my mom. My dad was already here working at a shop and going to school and that type of stuff. So went through elementary school here and high school and bounced around a little bit. But yeah. Somewhat of a really, really good childhood. I can say that.
Nice. What part of town? Like what high school? I'm born and raised here too. So.
Okay. So, well, that's what's funny. So I grew up and went to Santa Fe Elementary School. I was the first one to go at a new opening school. It was out in Peoria area, like 75th Avenue in Peoria.
Wow.
So I went there.
That's right down the road.
Yeah. I think I started like second grade or something like that. I went to, kindergarten and first grade at Peoria Elementary School. And then they opened up a new one because, community and more building and stuff like that was happening.
Yeah.
And so I went there, and then I actually all the way up until the middle of my 8th grade year. And then I went to Frontier to finish out my 8th grade year. I was supposed to go to Sunrise Mountain my 8th grade. I was super excited about it. Had made some new friends.
Yeah.
And then my mom decided, I need you back over at the house, the news places that I'm going to. So I went to North Canyon for my freshman and sophomore year, and then we moved again, and then I finished out my high school at Pinnacle. And I was technically the very first graduating class at Pinnacle of 04.
Yeah.
Yeah, pioneers.
Nice.
I wasn't that much into sports and stuff like that when it came down to it, but
it
was cool.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
Yeah, we at our high school, when I was, I think, a junior or senior, for some reason, like soccer wasn't that big back then, and now it is. Right. But we had the men's and women's state championship winners.
Nice.
It's like, this is awesome. But like nobody knew.
Right.
I felt terrible. I was like, guys, like, I guess soccer wasn't that big back then, but like rolling around, that's the only thing our high school is known for in sports. Everything else we were terrible at.
Yeah. Well, I played soccer for 9 years. And was super excited to go play as far as in high school.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, didn't realize when tryouts and stuff like that were, and I missed it, so I didn't have a chance. I was like, okay, cool. Let me try and figure this out next year.
Yeah.
Whatever happened. The same kind of situation. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just kind of end my
not meant to be.
Not meant to be. No.
So then you said, I'm just gonna grab my dirt bike and go, right?
Pretty much.
Is that how you got involved in power sports?
No, I grew up in power sports. That was one of the things that was cool about me as a kid. I think I started riding jet skis when I was 3. Nice. My dad was in the power sports business. Yeah. Started at a shop called and that's kind of a cool story as far as how Nash Powersports came about. But well, basically, he went through his career at a larger competitor, helped kind of build up that empire, and then when the time came, he wanted to branch out and do his own thing.
Yeah.
And the owner of Apache Motorcycles, they own 3 different dealerships. And he ended up passing away, had cancer. The kids and stuff like that didn't want to have anything to do with the dealership. So he decided to reach out to my dad and say, hey, are you interested? And my dad was like, well, yeah, I'm interested. Like, let me see what I can put together and, buy these 3 stores. And I have one now as far as in Oregon, which was where I was at the time, at a Harley store. So cobbled up the money, was able to buy the stores. And that's kind of the cool thing, because that was the shop that he started at when he moved here. So it kind of came full circle to buying those 3 stores.
How old were you when that happened, when he bought those?
Well, this Nash Powersports only 8 years old. So, 31?
Cool. Okay. What was that like? I mean, were you involved in those conversations? Like, was this something you were wanting to go down, or were you on a different career path?
No, I was on the, as far as being in Powersports.
Yeah.
Well, for me, my decision was I was either going to be in Powersports or I was going to be a Marine.
Really?
That was kind of my 2 choices. And it's funny, my family comes from, quite a bit of military, first responder. I have uncles that are in the military, cousins. My uncle actually is on the Phoenix PD as well here. So it was one of those things that was like, okay, I either stay in Powersports and go that trajectory, or do I want to try out for the Marines? I talked to my mom about the conversation a little bit, and I could just tell she wasn't really for it. But that's all right. So
How old were you when that happened? Like, was this kind of a decision, like out of high school, you were thinking, okay, I'm going to go Powersports or I'm going to go Marines, or?
Well, I was already working at the shop when I was 16, selling bikes and stuff like that. And actually even prior to that, but it was like my junior year, senior year, I was contemplating as far as like, what's next, just like most. But
so fast forward a little bit, right? You have your own Powersports company now, right?
Right.
I mean, what's that like? I mean, it's got to be pretty fun.
It's definitely fun. You get up every day, and I say this just in the when customers ask me what's it like, it's like I get to wake up and go talk about cool stuff all day.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, you're in a big toy store, and everybody that comes in and is wanting something like that. It's a goal of theirs. Maybe it's on a vision board. Maybe it's something that they had when they were a kid and that type of stuff. It's just fun. It's really fun.
Yeah. It was funny talking to you a little bit before this about like the industry, and I didn't realize, like how crazy that industry can be with like the chatter and what people say about your company and all that. And you said, hey, it's the boys with toys, right? The girls with toys. And
it's definitely the boys with toys. And you gotta, I wouldn't say you have to watch your back, but there's some times where it's like what decision that you say or what, company do you partner with? But I'll tell you, it's funny because when it comes to boys with toys situation, there's more gossip in that dealership sometimes than a hair salon with a bunch of ladies in there. That's for sure.
Man, did you ever think, like, as obviously your leadership, right? It's your store. Like, you're always very humble about that. But I mean, there's got to be scenarios that came up where you just thought to yourself, I never thought I'd have this conversation.
Those come up weekly.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you walk us through a couple? Because I think sometimes, like, either as owners or as entrepreneurs, and then, people don't always see the inside, like how the sausage is made or like the scenarios that you go through. They just see you with your kids on the weekend at church or soccer practice or whatever, right?
Right.
But I think so many of these things for us as owners, like, have become normal things to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you share these stories, other people go, that's not normal. Like,
yeah.
But it's just, that's what you do to run a business. Like, things change, things adapt.
Right.
So what are some of those stories?
Well, one of the stories, or at least was definitely recent, everyone went through COVID.
Yeah.
And that really changed the aspect of a lot of things, but most people don't really pay attention to or understand, like on the Powersports side, everyone was locked in home. They were told, hey, for whatever reason, what that looks like. But for us, it actually exploded because it was, most people don't want to stay at home. They want to get out. They want to go with their friends, or they want to, explore.
Yeah.
They also now have, 10, 12, 15, whatever thousands of dollars that they're not going to spend on going to Hawaii vacation because they can't go because they couldn't go there. Right.
Yeah.
Or it was frowned upon as far as what that looked like. So now it was a big shift. And part of that conversation that was super interesting and kind of out of left field was, okay, well, we thought this was going to be super bad for our industry.
Yeah.
Right? Like normally when you have a crash of some sort, that affects us 100%. That's what it did in 2008, right?
Mm.
Those types of commodities, those types of purchases, they just completely, they stop.
It's not within like the priority of where I'm going to spend my money.
Exactly.
So like the core of.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, you know what? If stuff goes down in your financial situation, what are the first things you peel back of? You peel back of going to the movies. You peel back of going to restaurants and fun, all the recreational stuff, right? So we 100% thought that this was going to be not very good.
When you guys were open for what, 3 years before that? Or I mean, you were still fairly new?
Yeah, 2020. Yeah, so 3 years.
Yeah.
And we were also opening two locations, relocating one and opening up a brand new one, our 4th location in Auburn, March of 2020. So literally when it hit, it was like, what just happened? What did we do?
Did you say Auburn?
Auburn, Washington, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, so we acquired that store and it got to open this March of 2020 as far as when it started.
Washington was more lockdown than Arizona was.
Well, that was your call it ground zero.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that
so you
was...
thought, okay, the Washington store is probably toast.
Yeah, like, how is this going to actually work and what's going to happen and all that stuff. But anyway, so those decisions were completely left field. And what do we do? Put our heads together. Ended up working out for us. We had some really good years as far as on profits and that type of stuff. Yeah. But the challenging part and the part that was different is, what do we do going out of it? Because when you literally have customers that are calling on the phone, asking, do you have this available? And that's like the main one is for the question that they're asking, because inventory wasn't as easily to get.
Yeah.
Something that you may not have thought about getting, like, hey, I really want this black Can-Am and this is the features. Well, dude, I don't have one. Okay, I'll take the blue one, or I'll take a Model Less or whatever it is, just because I've got to have one, right? Way more flexible, which comes with pros and cons. We all want people to get what they want, within reason, and obviously if it fits in their budget. But this was just totally different. But then when it started,
they were just all trying to get out. They're like, I'm not staying at home anymore.
Right.
I'm getting out on the trails. I'm getting out anywhere I can.
Yeah. So when it came down to going out of it and having a different landscape of positions, sales talent, people as far as that are working for us, did they forget how to sell? Did they forget how to offer people the right stuff? Did they forget how to market themselves? And unfortunately, the answer to that question was yes. They got into kind of transactional and taking orders and not really spending the time. So that's been a big challenge for us.
Nobody showed up in pajama pants, though.
No,
right? That's good.
No. And at least not our employees. Customers did. Customers did.
Yeah, that was the weirdest trend for me, is like exploded.
That trend hasn't stopped.
I know.
It has not stopped.
I don't know how.
It's now just morphed into pajama bell bottoms.
Yes. Athletic pants, right?
Yes.
Man. No, that's a good point, because especially as a business, when you're coming out of that and you're used to such profit margins, net profit growing easily, right? Customers being flexible, things like that. How did you guys continue that growth from there? Like what things did you have to do more trainings for the employees? Mm-hmm. You said people kind of forgot how to sell. I mean, we also forgot just how to build relationships?
Yes. Really? Yeah. And, the other thing is, what's interesting too is, especially coming out and going through that particular stuff, now learning how to communicate and connect with customers. Because, I mean, literally a week and a half ago, I'm sitting there going over numbers and going over an offer for a customer to buy a machine. Mm-hmm. And I kid you not, I could have done it all by myself behind the computer screen, because they weren't paying attention. There's 4 of them, and all 4 of them are buried in their phones, not even looking up as I'm trying to talk to them. And it's like, okay, are we trying to have a conversation here? Yeah. Do you want to possibly purchase something? Like, I want to give you the time of day as long as you want to give me the time of day.
Yeah. Because you don't want them walking out there going, I didn't know I bought that, or that specific thing, or that part, Yeah, right?
It's just,
they were just not connecting well. They weren't engaged.
Yeah. And it's just one of those, like, I wouldn't say courtesy. More like etiquette. Yeah. Like, where's the etiquette in some of these situations? And this, like, hey, you came in, like, we're supposed to be having fun here. You know, like, what we're selling is fun. It's not, a minivan that you just need because you grew out of your car because you decided to have kids, and guess what? Now you have twins. Yeah. And you need something bigger. You know what I mean? So I guess that's been a little bit more of a challenge.
That's interesting. That whole concept of relationships and courtesy, that definitely changed post-COVID for sure. It's almost like people are still trying to get back around to that.
Right. Well, and there's so many things that popped up to be accommodating for what it was. You could
Yeah.
buy more stuff as far as online. You could get stuff shipped to your door.
Yep.
I mean, we're closing up the shop literally last night at 7:12, and Amazon's knocking on the door like, "Hey, man, I got a package for you." Like, when did I ever think that Amazon was going to be delivering to a business at 7:20?
Oh,
Like,
Amazon delivers like what, 4 a.m. now?
Yeah, like why are you not at home watching the Cardinals game, man? Like, give me a break.
Yeah, I've noticed that before, even like my own house. Like, I'll see on the camera like somebody's come up to the door, and it's like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I had
one
one.
at my door.
I had one.
Like, oh, it's just a delivery.
I had one at 11:10. Literally, Amazon was knocking at the door. I'm like, who is that?
Oh my gosh. How I mean, do you guys do a lot of online because of all this now? Like, has that been helpful for you to grow the biz through, or
a little bit?
Most of a hindrance?
Not so much of a hindrance. Like, we're not there yet on buying motorcycles and ATVs and stuff.
Yeah.
Putting your credit card and stuff like that. As far as we're not there yet. I hope we never really get there, because there is so much of what we do that is connection and customer base, and we want to hear the stories too. We want to know where you're going to go ride and how much who's going to go do it with you.
Yeah.
What neighbor is going to be super jealous that you're rolling down on your new machine this week that we need to pick up the phone and see if he can keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah. So nothing like Carvana, even maybe.
No.
That always cracks me up when I drive by, and I'm like, I know people do it. Like, I've heard of stories people buy cars from it, but it's just crazy to me. It's like a vending machine.
Yeah.
You walk in, you're like, oh, I'll take that one.
Well, it's
maybe I'm too type A, but I don't know if I could ever do that.
No, but it's also created this false trust. Like what you're about to buy is perfect, or what you're about to buy is as close to new perfect as possible. It's definitely made us up our game, because what we buy, pre-owned off the street, or what we get as far as trade-ins, like we literally have to make things as close to perfect or as close to new as possible. Otherwise, customers want us to replace it, or like, hey, there's a scratch on here. We don't just get to say, well, it's a used machine anymore.
Yeah,
it's not really accepted, as it is.
Wow. That's crazy though, because I mean, used in your world, I mean, these things are tearing up mountains. Like, of course they're going to have scratches on it. Yeah. And that's what you pay less for as a used, right?
That's sometimes what, well, you would think so, but then sometimes the used one is as valuable as some of the new ones based off rebates and stuff like that. It's a balance.
Yeah.
It really is a balance.
What are some of the main product lines that you guys have that you're like, hey, this is our bread and butter?
At our particular dealership, especially being in the Southwest, 60% of our business is based off side-by-sides.
Okay.
And those are, the machines that you drive. Can-Am has them, Polaris, Kawasaki, Honda, they have their Talons. They're basically your off-road kind of trucks or cars. But there's some really, really nice ones that are out there. So 60% of our business is roughly that. Unfortunately, down in Arizona, we don't have the ability to have Polaris. And that's mostly because my old man was very good at his last job, and he set his competitors up in areas of the valley to where we can't, have one. In our industry, when you have a manufacturer like a Polaris or Can-Am or Yamaha, you can't have another dealership within 10 miles radius of the crow flies. So, when he bought the stores, he's like, I guess I was a little too good at my last job.
You got Polaris all around you.
Yeah, exactly.
Man,
so where the other, some of the other competition stuff like that is set up, it's blocked from us to be able to get that. So we think out of the box, or we do used and stuff like that for that manufacturer. But anyways, yeah. So 60% is that, and then obviously we have watercraft, motorcycles, dirt bikes, everything else is power sports.
What's the craziest custom thing you guys have done that you can remember? I mean, I'm sure you do them all the time, but like, what's one of the ones that just sticks with you? Like, I can't believe somebody did this.
There's a custom build that we did called Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah. It's a tribute to Pink Floyd.
Nice.
So we had this customer, a really good customer of ours. He and his wife were they're friends of another couples group or whatever that lives up in Desert Mountain, and really good people. So one of the guys, he bought a car from us, tricked it out, made it, super cool. And then his other buddy bought another car. And it was one of those like, hey, we're golfing buddies and we live in this community. We want to have something too. Well, anyways, we got a chance to talk with him, and he gets on the phone. He's like, I love music. I love old classic rock music. And we start going down. I was like, well, what about this band, or what about that band? Like, we started talking about Van Halen and, AC/DC and all that. And he's like, I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan. Okay, cool. So I start doing a little bit of research, trying to figure out what that could look like. Because a lot of the cars and stuff like that we did, especially on Nash Customs, were all theme cars. Like we did a one called Warhawk that looks like an old P40 Mustang. We actually did a Van Halen one where it's the guitar and stuff like that from Eddie Van Halen on the side of it, the red, white, and the black, and all the lines and stuff. And of course some others. But anyways, we were doing this particular project, and I'm like, we got to make this thing just like over the top. And so on the inside of the car, there's 18 different UV lights that turn on, and everything is laid in there with glow in the dark type film, as well as the rest of it. So literally at nighttime, you can hit the lights and all of the inside glows, just like you're at mini golf or something like that. As far as that, But on the if you're sitting there and you look up on the inside of the roof, it's literally the album cover of Dark Side of the Moon with the eye and the triangle and that type of stuff. It's in other terms, it's bitching. So all the inside and everything looks like that. If you on the outside, it has kind of this type look to it. The seats are like a grayish moon look to it. It's got Pink Floyd's logo in the headrest of it. But the other thing that's very interesting and what kind of sets this thing over the top is the cage that we did and some of the other parts are all airbrushed, and they're airbrushed. So when you look at it from the side, it looks like everything a part of it, meaning the full design doesn't stop. It doesn't like, hey, here's the doors, but then there's these rock sliders and those are all pink. No, they're 100%. So it's, when you look at it, it's very difficult to do.
Wow.
The guys that did it, custom painter here in town, legendary. He used to do a bunch of hot rods and motorcycles for Borgette and that type of stuff. He's a really good guy. So it was talent. It took like 5.5 months to put this thing together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it's kind of one of those things, like if you can imagine, it's kind of like an MTV Pimp My Ride.
I was just about, you stole. I was gonna say, did you feel like Exhibit?
Totally.
When you're presenting it, you felt like Exhibit, huh? Pimp My Ride.
100%. I mean, there's not a margarita machine or whatever in the back of it, which, come to think of it, that would have been pretty cool. But
that was some of the craziest stuff they did. Was they put a pool table in the bed of a truck? Do you remember that one? I think it was like a Ford Ranger.
Okay.
They had a hard top on the bed of the truck, and he was like, and you got a pool table.
What are you gonna do with that?
What are you gonna do with a pool table in the bed of a truck?
Yeah.
And it's only 3-sided because you can't shoot from the cab.
It's like playing indoor soccer. You gotta bank it.
So yours was a much more functional and cool. Am I right? Right?
Yes. And the thing about those particular cars and those projects is the last thing you want to do is to have someone have those and not use them.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing I get to report. Like they go to the dunes all the time. They go up to Oregon as far as the dunes. They just sent me pictures of doing this, really cool night ride.
Oh, that's cool.
For it. So it's cool. Like when you put those projects together, people actually use it.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being a, garage ornament or a, pavement princess for that standpoint.
I'm getting a whole new set of lingo. I'm loving
that's
this.
what my truck is, a pavement princess.
Oh, is it?
I don't think that thing goes off road very much, but
that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. So, I mean, over the years, right, as the owner, as you've been kind of helping grow, you've been in business 8 years now.
Yeah.
Right. You get to do all that fun stuff, which is great. What have been some of the lessons that you've learned along the way that you thought, man, like, yes, I had experience in the industry before. Yes, my family's been in it before, but I don't know, when you are responsible, not just for the day-to-day, but the vision, like where's the company going, right? That's a whole different level of pressure. It's a whole different level of scenarios. What have been some of the scenarios that you've had to work through where you're like, I didn't expect that. That sucked.
Yeah, I think it's, sometimes when you try to put a goal or you try to put some sort of new vision or process or whatever in place, literally having the know-all to say, yeah, that didn't work and it was on me, or that didn't work and here's why, or it didn't get executed properly, or, a main thing is, and I'm struggling with it still to this day, just because we're trying to find processes, especially in marketing.
Yeah.
You want to put a campaign together and put a sale or something like that. Just the level of top-down communication to where it gets to everybody.
Yeah.
Like not having let's just say an internal newsletter or we started a Facebook group, a private one that only employees can have.
Oh, okay. How many employees do you guys up to right
We have
now?
152.
Wow.
with all of our company,
Yeah.
right? And a large percentage of those employees are frontline staff. They need to know that we have belts on sale, or they need to know that right now Sea-Doos don't have freight and prep or whatever on there. Like, they need to know all that type of stuff, right? And it's not just like okay, cool, like, here's where everyone clocks in. Let me put a graphic on the front of there.
Yeah.
Everyone sees it as far as when they walk in and clock
There's
in.
There's posters up in the bathroom.
Yeah,
right?
like you post up in the bathroom, or
employee break rooms. Yeah.
exactly, right. Like, you don't really have those anymore. So finding that particular way to communicate has been a little bit of a difference. So
Yeah.
there's just different things that come in a day to day or even a month to month, and I'll definitely say this, even myself, and on growth wise, it's really hard sometimes to let go. It's really hard to not feel like you can do it all. You wear all these different hats and just let people do what you pay them to do. And if they make mistakes, you'll figure it out. But like in our industry, everything it's seasonal. We go through seasons of, this is particular, dune season, or, during summer, obviously it's lake season. When does that kind of shut down? It's not the same as like, snow and rain and that type of stuff. I mean, our Auburn store obviously figures into that equation, but we really need to focus as far as what the calendar is and what's next. And that's the stuff as far as you got to communicate and let people do their stuff too. So that's been a little challenging.
Oh, I bet. So you guys have a store, Arizona here.
3 in Arizona.
3 Arizona, 1 in Washington.
Yes.
Anywhere else? Or?
Nope, not yet.
So that's probably the biggest communication, is trying to figure out to keep everybody on the same page, not just here, but out of state too.
That's the biggest struggle, because especially, even talking marketing, if that Washington store doesn't feel like you're giving them enough effort, and you're not spending enough time as far as to help them and grow their business. I feel for it, because when I had part of my career being in Bend, Oregon for 8.5 years working at our Harley store, you feel like you're on an island. You feel like you don't have the same day-to-day communications, meetings. Hey, we're sitting here talking in person, like everything there. The distance is not exactly easy. It's like having a long distance relationship with a friend. If you're not there communicating on a weekly basis, or even sometimes daily, stuff falls through the cracks. It's hard.
Well, especially because the trends up there are different too.
Trends are different. Right? Seasons are different.
What they're selling up there is different.
They're a huge 2-wheel store. They sell tons of dirt bikes, and funny enough, they sell tons of motorcycles. And you got many days of the year where it's completely raining. They don't care. It's just a way of life.
Wow.
They don't sell as many side by sides as what we do. Like it's totally flipped. So that's the other side that's different, is mindset of okay, we're running this campaign down here. Does that work for up there? Or we're running that one up there. Is it time as far as for it to do there? Like, we just got done doing, it's still kind of going on, but it's about ready to be finished up. Ninjathon, right? Like Kawasaki Ninjas.
Yeah.
I didn't even think they would make sense as far as for us to do Ninjathon up in Washington, because they're selling so many. Like, why do I want to spend marketing dollars on something that's already selling? Like, hey, we're a hot dog stand. We need to put more on hot dogs. Well, dude, we're the only one, and they're selling like hot dogs, right?
Yeah.
It's like, doesn't make sense as far as to do that. No, but it did.
Absolutely.
We had the infusion, and they did really well. And then we brought the thing down to Arizona, and guess what? We're selling Ninjas. So
that's cool. I mean, if you don't know, I love marketing.
Yeah.
So I like that you brought this up.
Yes.
But, what's some of the campaigns though? Like you said, the Ninja one. What's another campaign though that you thought, hey, this seems nuts, right? Because everybody wants to go viral, and I'm like the last person to ask on that. Like, I love blocking and tackling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's get the business growth down right first, then let's take shots down the field.
Right.
But I think sometimes, because technology has become so approachable, everybody just wants to do a viral idea, viral this. It's like, okay, well, even if you go viral, do you have the team to support selling that when you get the leads in, right? So there's so many factors, and it's not that I'm boring. Well, I don't know, maybe.
No.
I'll leave that up to others. But it's that you got to get the blocking and tackling done first before you just take shots down the field, right? And so a lot of times I focus on that end of marketing, but I'm always so fascinated with, especially with nowadays, people are pushing the envelope. And they have been for years.
Yeah.
Like, I think, again, post-COVID, I think like all bets were off. Like, just want to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
What are some campaigns you did that were a little crazy?
Well, I'll tell you, last year we did lean into a little bit of the political campaign.
Oh, yeah?
And it was one of those things that's like, okay, we're coming out of what was the we did that was actually I'll start at that campaign actually because that one's actually a little bit more left field too, and I even had people internally like, what are we doing here? Like, what exactly does this mean? And the campaign actually was funny. It was can you spot a good deal?
Okay.
And to me, it made a lot of sense because we have pricing on stuff that is very, very good, very aggressive, sometimes even leading as far as the market on a price that's for the consumer, right?
Yeah.
Most real estate will tell you, oh, it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. Listen, it's a buyer's market right now in Powersports. We have inventory. We want to make sure that we take care of people. We're not trying to have these things as hood ornaments or museum pieces, right? Like we want to be able to sell stuff so you can go enjoy and have fun. But the problem right now is any price we put on there, it ain't good enough. Or any prices that's on there, they don't recognize that it's good enough. You know, when you have something that's $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 off, and they're like, okay, cool, can you do 2,000 more? No, we can't. So we did this campaign of can you spot a good deal? Because coming out of a COVID and coming out of like, hey, this is what's available, and here's what the price is, and you know, now you're starting to see a situation is like, no, we just totally swung the pendulum here, and it's now in your favor. Like, this is your time. Like, do good at it. Like, we had a very popular machine that was probably $4,000 to $6,000 off, and we literally had people coming in saying, okay, I see that price, but you know, I need another $1,000 off, or I need another $1,500 off. Yeah. And the pricing that's literally set, I kid you not, we're losing money on. We're losing money on because we're trying to escape the flooring cost of the bank to not have to pay that bill next month and spend another $400 or $500 down the drain for literally nothing, right? And also that's what the market is, right? The market is, that's what the price is. So we ran this campaign, and funny enough, I know you like video, and I know that content's kind of a thing. Oh yeah. We did this one particular content piece where it was a reenaction, a little bit of Steve Irwin, right? Yes. Where he's literally where my guy's literally dressed in safari gear, and he's behind the palm trees, and he's looking in the binoculars, and he's like, "Oh, Crocky, I finally spotted a good deal. Why was it so hard?" Like, we did that one. We did another one where it was a guy in a doctor's office. Yeah. And doctor comes in, and he's like, "Oh, your vitamins look good, and you know, this is fine. Like, what seems to be the problem?" And he's like, "I'm just having a really hard time spotting a good deal."
Oh gosh. Okay. I was wondering where it was coming around to.
Yeah. So man. It was one of those particular campaigns that we did that, and it resonated after we got a little bit of time, and that was part of the communication piece with the staff. Like, look, guys,
time was like a few months though, right? Like you had
2 months.
You had to do it for a couple months.
Yeah, we did it for 2 months, and that ended up as far as in probably middle of October. Yeah. And that's when we ended up doing a different one, which was Vote for Nash. Vote for fun.
Nice.
And my dad got in front, and
I'm really glad you went that route, because your name's Brandon, and I was thinking,
no.
Let's go.
No, we didn't go there. No, we went Vote for Nash, Vote for Fun. We had our billboard and everything that was on there. Whole different campaign. Yeah. We had one of the girls that was in our marketing team or whatever. She got up front in front of a podium. She was acting as like the press secretary.
Oh, that's fun.
And everyone's asking questions and stuff like that. And Pops got in front, and he, was kind of doing his speech type thing, saying, vote for Nash is a vote for fun, and all that type of stuff. So we leaned into that. Yeah.
But you did it in a way that it brought people together.
Correct. It was community. It's like, hey, why choose Nash Powersports versus, somebody else? It was more of a branding, type scenario. It wasn't so much, price based or any of that situation. But I also had the mindset of, anything I do right now, kind of social media is going to be dominated by this election season. So why not lay into it a little bit and have a little bit of fun with it?
Oh yeah.
So
that's cool.
That was kind of the piece of, so those are kind of the little bit of the off the wall type ones that we've done. From that, we do another one every single year, kind of like a Toyota-thon type. But we do a Friends of Bill sale. Yeah. And my dad's been in the industry for, 40 plus years. All of his stuff has kind of been through Arizona, and obviously people know that he purchased the stores, and that's what it is. So every April we run this Friends of Bill sale, and everybody comes in, whether they're a friend of Bill or not, they're like, "Oh, I'm a friend of Bill." And that one's kind of a funny play too, because
it's just a great name though too, like Bill. Whether you actually know him or not, like, what a great name that is. Right. Like, well, and I know a lot of people know him, but just the name in general is very trusting. It's like, hey, I know Bill.
Yeah, exactly. it doesn't matter if it's a Friends of Bill campaign going on. We get it all year. Oh,
does he sit out front in like a big red throne seat? I'm just kidding.
No, more his defender that he does that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, but we came up with that particular campaign too because it's a little bit of an inside joke with some of the salespeople or even some of the sales office. Because when you get a Friend of Bill deal, it doesn't always mean it's going to be the most profitable deal, right? Because it's one of those like, oh yeah, I'm a Friend of Bill. Okay, strip out all the margin. Let's make sure we take care of this guy. And it's been that way for a very, very long time, which is good. He's got a lot of friends. Yeah. I think last time I looked on his phone, he had like 3,700 contacts.
Wow.
Yeah. It grows.
Dang.
He's one of the guys where it's like, oh yeah, I'm redoing a pool, or I need to get lighting. Call this guy. Call that guy.
He's just like the guy.
He's that. He has a memory like a freaking elephant. He still remembers all the sales and stuff he had back in the early 80s.
Oh,
he could walk up to somebody in the grocery store and know exactly what he sold them, exactly as far as what his name is. It's insane.
That's
absolutely
wild.
Insane.
Oh man, that's wild.
It's a characteristic that I would love to have.
Yeah.
For that.
Wow.
One of the many, but
man, that's cool. So what's the future hold then for Nash? And you said Nash D Customs too, right? Is that your custom brand?
It's like a division.
Cool. What's the future hold for you guys? I mean, you're going strong, right? Things are going well. You have a store up in Washington, but what is the next, if you had to say the next 5 to 10 years, like what does that look like for where you want to, bring the company?
Well, for I would say 5 to 10 years, obviously, is to have a couple more stores. It's funny. Opportunity doesn't always come up to buy one.
Yeah.
Usually when they're kind of set in stone, they're set in stone. And or if there's an open point or something like that for another manufacturer, or let's say a city decides to pop up. Kind of like what Surprise did back in the day.
Yeah.
Personally, I think, and it's just a hunch of mine. Like you had a hunch earlier, but I think in the next 5 years that Lake Pleasant's actually going to be its own city.
Oh yeah, it's blowing up like crazy.
It's blowing up as far as that standpoint. So that would be interesting to, hey, maybe there's an opportunity for a store there, like if the brands and stuff like that look that direction. But so no, I definitely a couple other stores. There's an idea for us to take Nash D Customs in a completely independent type division by itself. Mm-hmm. We'll see. That it's not a brand itself. It doesn't have a franchise or whatever blocking it from being in the different particular areas. So we'll see. As far as what that looks like, there's opportunities maybe in Washington, there's opportunities in Oregon, all over. But as they say, you got to have your ear to the ground and hear the footsteps.
Oh, for sure.
So
that's cool. It's been really cool to learn about the industry too. I definitely have some new lingo. I'm going to go home and
Pavement Princess is one.
That's right, Pavement Princess. Well, it's because it makes me reflect. Like, I had a truck for a while, and I mean I still do, but I took it up to Crown King a few times and certainly wasn't a Pavement Princess anymore, right? But for the longest time, I love a truck,
Yeah.
And so if you had to, before we go, I always like to ask this too, that if you had to give another like owner, entrepreneur, leader in business advice, like what's been some of the most pivotal, things or thoughts that you've had that you're like, man, this is the advice I would want to give somebody.
I try to approach, especially from a leadership role, and most people will tell this in my industry, whatever decision or whatever path, maybe even as far as crafting a pay plan or something like that, right? You have to put yourself in that person's shoes. Yeah. You can't always make a decision only for you or only for the company. You do have to pay attention to how that's going to affect them, and try to guide it to where the effect is both positive, because one of the things that we don't really have a whole lot of at Nash Powersports, and even the dealership that I worked at before, we don't really have a whole lot of turnover. We want to make sure that people work for us for a long time.
That's huge.
It is, because the training and the investment and everything you put into people makes a big difference, but it only is that way if they feel you care and you genuinely do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the main thing that I'd put as a takeaway is whatever decisions, make sure your people understand why you made them. And you also did it in an intention that you're caring of what it means to them too.
That's cool. Well, man, thanks for coming on.
Of course.
We'll have to we'll do another segment, Girl Dag segment, right?
Yeah.
That's what that we could talk for hours on that. But
100%.
Kept it professional today. Appreciate you coming on, and all the best wishes to you and Nash Powersports.
Thanks, man.